What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're up at the barn and we're working on our chicken run. Now, part of our plan for our entire homestead is to kind of test out different philosophies and different plans that we come up with. One of those being last year was the chicken run that we put on this barn. Now, we ran a 5-foot welded wire fence all the way around a 12 by 24 foot chicken run, and then we ran 2-foot chicken wire around the bottom just to keep a little bit of extra predator protection. So at the end of the year, we figured out that this is exactly what we want to do. Now, we want to make this a little bit more permanent, and that's what we're going to do today. So we've gone ahead and we've actually leveled out this area a little bit more. One of the issues that we ran into was a lot of sediment and a lot of water coming in and kind of pooling up in the chicken run. So we went ahead and brought in some more fill. Now we're all set up, we've got that all leveled out, and we've got markers where we want to be drilling our holes. So first thing we got to do is take the brush hog off the tractor, get the post hole digger on the tractor, go around, dig all of our post holes, get all our posts set into place. Then we have 6 4x4 pressure treated posts that we're going to be putting in the ground and making a more permanent chicken run frame. We also left all the welded wire fence, the chicken wire, and our plastic netting on the top of the run a little bit long last year because we knew it was something that we were testing out and we didn't want to waste material if we had to change it. So we have extra material, we're good to go there. I'm really excited to get something a little bit more permanent. And the big goal today is to make the chicken run a little bit more accessible where you can walk into it, as last year we only had about 5-foot head clearance and it was kind of a pain in the butt to get in there. So it's all leveled out, all ready to go. Let's start updating our chicken run. Really? Don't mind Scooter, our resident loiterer. So Scooter is one of the roosters that we left behind, and he just kind of hangs out at the barn, and he's getting a little bit more personable. He's gonna be our job site inspector for today. Cody gave me a tip when he saw it sitting on the ground like this. He said if you drive that down, like dig it into the ground when you're done with it, then you can just leave it rather than trying to balance it, because right now it's just, oh.
And it won't rust if it's in the dirt like
Probably
that?
no more than it's rusting sitting on the ground. All right, so Gabrielle has gone down to the house to get a level real quick because we are ready to start leveling and setting these posts. Now, we have one in the ground real quick, and I'll show you what we have going on. I do want to mention something real quick. When you're using a post hole digger, like the one we just showed, if you start hitting rock, you really want to make sure that you stop and you don't go any further, because if you get that auger dug into some shale like we just did over here on this corner post, you can really get yourself into trouble and have a permanent fixture on your farm. So just be careful when you're using the post hole diggers. I think it took us like 15 to 20 minutes to dig 6 holes. So if you're digging a lot of holes, post hole digger for that tractor is definitely a must. So we have the post set in the ground right here. What we're doing is tamping the bottom of that. We have a little bit of fill dirt around the area right here. So we're measuring off the ground to the top of the post. We want at 6 feet. So this one's all set, just needs to be leveled. And then we're going to backfill around the post and go ahead and get that set in. So we have 5 more to go. Then we can start getting our welded wire on. And it looks like our job site supervisor is approving of our work so far. Yep, definitely approves. Camera? No? Well, we're making good progress today on the chicken run. We've got the poly wire for Doc's pen all set back into place. We've got the welded wire fence and the chicken wire all up. So what's next? Well, last time we had this run all set up, we ran string from post to post, and that's what the wire or the plastic netting to prevent hawk attacks and stuff like that. That's what that netting was sitting on. So I'm going for something a little bit more permanent this time. We're going to be running 2x across here. So what I need to do is actually measure and cut those, put those aside, and then while I'm doing that, we're going to be filling up the run with wood chips because we have chicks coming in about 4 days. The 4-H chick chain chicks that Jacob's been raising are about 7 weeks now. They're ready to go outside, but it's a little, we have a cold spell coming through this weekend. It's going to get high 30s, maybe low 40s. So we're going to hold off until we get past this weekend. They need to be out here, but it's plain dirt, and I don't want them on plain dirt. It just gets muddy and gets to be a bad situation real quick. So we're going to put some wood chips in here for them, and then they'll be in here for quite a while, actually, until we move them out to a chicken tractor. So maybe a couple months. So I'm going to go ahead, take a break. Gabrielle's already gone down the house to take a break. It's lunchtime, and we're going to come up here, measure and cut these 2x, get some wood chips and some more fill in here, and then we can get the netting on the top of this. And then I think we're done. One thing I do want to mention is that in this corner over here where this post is, I'm going to be extending this and making a doorway over right here. So the whole point of this entire exercise with this chicken run is to make this chicken run more accessible and more flat and clean for the chickens to be in. So, but the accessibility has been the issue, and that's what we're addressing today. So we're putting a door out here. We used to be coming out the door right there in the barn, and it's kind of cumbersome to get in and out that little tiny door. So door frame down the road, probably not right now. I'll probably wait a little bit, and then one morning before I let the chicks out of the barn, I'll come through and I'll frame this door and get it all up, and that'll be that. So we're looking really good, couple hours of progress, and this chicken run is much better than it was before. So let's go ahead and take a break, and then we can get this chicken run all wrapped up. All right, guys, so check this out. Our chicken run is complete. So I think it came out absolutely amazing. It is much more rigid, much more just spacious. Gabrielle and I can get in there and walk around. The roof doesn't sag. So if anything goes wrong inside of the chicken run, we can get in there very easy. And like I said, we're going to be putting a door down through right here. But I think that's going to be a wrap for today's video. We're all done with the chicken run. It took us a couple hours, a little bit longer than we originally had thought it would, but I think it came out amazing. So if you want to watch more content of our homestead grow, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you along. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have a great day.